Do you know what is awesome about the top sellers on Etsy in your niche or in general that get 100,000, 200,000, $1 million in sales every single year? Well, they all do similar things to be successful on the platform. Sure, you could look at these sellers and be like, I feel bad about myself because I'm not doing what they can do. But the fact of the matter is, you can get your piece of the pie. You can learn from these sellers and do similar things that they're doing to be successful in your own business. So instead of feeling bad about how well they're doing, use it to your advantage, implement the things that they're doing to be successful for yourself and move your own business forward. And that's what I'm going to talk about today. I'm going to tell you 5 things that Etsy sellers do, the top Etsy sellers do, to be successful and make a lot of sales on the platform. Let's go. Hey everyone, what is going on? Welcome back to the Handmade and Beyond podcast. I'm LL, your host and leader of the Handmade and Beyond community. I'm back with another really good episode for you guys today to help you move your business forward in a big way so that you can get more sales, have more freedom, and just have a better business for now and in the future. Before I get started in today's episode, I got a free guide for you guys. If you haven't downloaded my guide to get your first 100 sales and beyond, it pairs nicely with this episode. A lot of the things I talk about in this guide, I will talk about in this episode as well. But it's a free downloadable guide. You can get it at handmadeandbeyond.com/100 sales. Get the tips and strategies to help you guys get your first 100 sales and beyond in your business. It's a big benchmark. A lot of times once you get, like I always say, if you get 100 sales, you can get 1,000 sales, you can get 500,000 sales. So get that guide, download it, implement it, start making more sales today. So let's dive into today's episode. I want to talk about 5 things the top Etsy sellers do to be successful, to get more sales, to build and grow their business. These things aren't hard things, but these are often overlooked things that people don't think about, don't pay attention to when they're trying to start, build, and grow their Etsy business. They're easy to implement, but often, for whatever reason, they're just not done. And a lot of people look at these top sellers and they're like, oh, they're lucky. They're doing good. I can never do that good. They're an anomaly, different things like that. No, they're doing these things consistently over time, and that promotes success. They learn from it, implement what they learn, and from there, they're able to build their business. This stuff isn't done overnight, but if it's done consistently over time, you have a clear plan and vision, you guys can do the same thing. It's just you have to understand that it's not going to be overnight, but they're telling you the roadmap. They're giving you the roadmap to follow. You just have to implement these things for your own business and pay attention to what they're doing and not get down on yourself thinking that they're doing well, I can't do that. No, look at them as a positive thing. If they're doing it, you can do it too, or at least at a bare minimum, you can get your piece of the pie. There's plenty out there for you guys to get as well. So don't have a limiting belief. There is lots and lots of sales and revenue for you guys to get your chunk of the change. You just have to do these things over time to be able to get that. So let's dive in. The first one is a simple one, but it's also the most common one that's overlooked. Have a defined niche. When you roll out and create your Etsy shop, create your Etsy business, you have to have a defined niche. You have to know where you're going. Where is your brand going? Does it make sense? Do you have a niche? Are you niched down enough? Or are you all over the place, which a lot of sellers often do. They're not sure what to sell, what product to sell. So they just release 20 products that are all across the board in subject matter, different niches, different products, different things all together that make no earthly sense. It looks like a flea market out there. It looks like a yard sale. There's things that don't go together that make absolutely no sense. It is super hard to build a business like that. Sure, there is some niches out there that is absolutely their niche. It's basically everything under the sun, and they do it well. But for the most part, most shops need a clear defined niche. This helps you this helps you target specific keywords, specific categories. It helps the algorithm recognize you, and it helps your brand and business grow, and it helps you reach more traffic and reach more people, which in return will help you get more sales and get more revenue in your business. So you guys need to really hone in on your niche. If you're not sure what to do, think about it, sit down. What are you really interested in? What are you really passionate about? Don't just throw things out there, throw mud against the wall and see what sticks. That sometimes works, but it really doesn't work in as far as selling on Etsy. So you have to have that honed in on a niche so you know what to focus on, and it really helps you grow within the algorithm and how that works, and be able to target specific customers, target a specific audience. So make sure that you are thinking about that and have an idea before you just throw mud against the wall, throw out different listings that really make no sense. All right, and that brings us to number 2. Launch new products monthly, if not weekly. Have you guys ever seen the movie Little Shop of Horrors, where it has the plant? And well, there's been a remake. I mean, the remake has Rick Moranis in it, but the plant's asking him to feed him. It's like, feed me, and he has to consistently feed the plant, or the plant gets angry and it'll threaten to eat him and things like that. The algorithm on where I'm going with this is the algorithm on Etsy is like the Little Shop of Horrors plant. It needs you to feed it. It needs you to feed it with new listings consistently. This helps the algorithm further target your audience, your niche. Basically tells the algorithm that you're active in your shop, you're active on Etsy, that you're a serious seller, and in return, the algorithm will give you the gift of more traffic. And hopefully that more traffic will give you the gift of more sales. You see this with big box stores every day. When you go into Target, if you go into Target today and then you go into Target 2 weeks from now, will you see the same stuff? Will you see the same displays? Will you see the same products? Sure, you'll see some of the same stuff. You'll see the staple items, but you're going to see a lot of new displays, a lot of new products. And this happens consistently in big box stores, and it should translate to the e-commerce space as well. You don't want to keep your shop stagnant. You want to consistently add new stuff, whether it be holiday items, new arrivals, different things like that, to to keep your audience engaged, but also to grow your audience and continuously attract new traffic, but also show the algorithm that you're engaged in your shop, you're adding new stuff, you're trying to cater to your audience, you're keeping things fresh. Etsy likes to see that. The algorithm likes to see that. They don't want the same old. They want to continuously have new stuff to engage more customers, more traffic, because overall that helps the platform as a whole. And in return, it'll help your shop as a whole as well. So keep that in mind. Have a plan to consistently release new products as much as possible. And in return, you'll be gifted with more traffic and more sales. So a lot of new sellers, they'll put up 20, 30 products and then they'll let it sit for 6 months. Not a good strategy. Have a strategy to release new products consistently. Maybe you have 40 products. Well, release 20 and have a plan to release 5 a week or 3 a week for next several weeks. And in the backlog, think of new stuff that you can release as well. Have that strategy, have that plan in your workflow so that you can continuously be releasing stuff to engage your audience, to help the algorithm help you in turn in giving you traffic and hopefully sales. All right, number 3, this is something that's easy enough, but I see it all the time where it is not done. Have over 100 listings. Make that your goal when you open your Etsy shop. It's fine if you don't open with 100 listings. That's a tall order, but have a plan to get there sooner than later. That's where the rubber will start to meet the road and you'll really start to see a boost in traffic. Imagine that you have one listing and that listing is a fishing line, and you're putting that line in the water, and the fish are your customers, will you have a better chance of catching a customer or purchase with one line in the water? Or will you have a better chance with 100 lines in the water or 500 lines in the water? Logically, it makes sense, right? The more listings you have, the more potential customers and sales you will have. The more listings you have, the more keywords you have. The more keywords you have, the more potential audience you have. The more potential audience you have, the more potential traffic you have. The more potential traffic you have, the more potential customers or sales you will have. That is a foundational element to getting more sales. Now, you can't just put out junk stuff. You got to put stuff within your list, within your niche, stuff that people want. Not everything is going to be successful that you put out there, but have a plan to get to 100 listings. Maybe you open your shop with 10 listings, 20 listings. What is your plan in the next several months to get to 100 listings and beyond? Continue growing past that. You'll start to see your biggest increase in traffic past 100 listings, and from that traffic you'll start to learn what listings are getting traffic, what listings are getting sales, what listings are successful, and you're using that information to your advantage to further grow your shop down the road by releasing more products related to what's successful, getting rid of stuff that's not successful. All that information you can use to your advantage if you allow it to, if you allow yourself to put yourself out there, put those products out there, and to give you the information that you can use to your advantage in the future. So keep that in mind. Have a plan now to get to 100 listings, and I promise you the benefits will be worthwhile. Just the information and the stats alone that you'll glean from 100 listings that you can leverage for future listings, future stuff that you do in your shop. A lot of people miss that. They sit at 30 listings, 40 listings for years, and they wonder why they're not growing, why they're not successful. Well, that's why. Your shop is stagnant. You got to have a plan to release more listings. All right, number 4. This one is a big one and an important one. Create traffic inside and outside of Etsy. What do I mean by that? Well, inside of Etsy is using the algorithm to your advantage. You can create a lot of traffic. You can leverage the 100 million plus buyers on Etsy by using the algorithm with keywords, relevant keywords related to your niche, related to what you're targeting, to send traffic to your own listing. This comes from keyword research, which most people don't do or spend enough time on. In order to do proper keyword research, you really need a third-party platform such as my favorite, Alora, which I'll include a link below, to find the best keywords that are getting the most sales, the most traffic to them, and you're leveraging those to get your products in front of that traffic, and hopefully those people will buy. Without keyword research, you're really kind of flying blind. You're not knowing the proper keywords to use, or even if the keywords you're using are not getting any traffic, so you're using keywords that people are never going to come to your product because no one's searching for those keywords. So keyword research is game changer if you use it the right way. It can substantially grow your business. Now, the other way to create traffic is outside of Etsy. Is this 100% imperative? No, there's a lot of traffic already in Etsy that you can use and be very, very successful. But there's also sellers that leverage outside traffic as well, whether that be social media or email marketing. So it's always good if you want to grow even more to introduce these ways to increase traffic, whether you're doing routine posts on your favorite social media channel, or even better, email marketing, creating an email marketing list, which I've talked about before, collecting emails, and then those people you can market to down the road whenever you want if they opt into your list outside of Etsy, which is really nice. And Alora recently released an email marketing platform or addition feature rather on their platform, so you can collect emails throughout Alora. You don't have to have a separate email marketing platform like before. They made it really, really easy to build your list within Alora itself, which is really, really awesome. I would encourage you to check that out, take advantage of it. But either way, both you can be successful at social media or email marketing. You could do both. You could pick one, but just if you do, go all in on it. Don't dabble in it. Make sure that you are consistent with it. Just like on Etsy, you'll see the most success if you're consistent with posting routinely, emailing routinely, being focused on building your following, building your list, and sending that traffic to Etsy along with the traffic that you're already getting from the algorithm, from the platform. So those two things paired together, inside traffic, outside traffic, can be a game changer and really give you guys a nice boost when it comes to sales and revenue. All right, the last one. This is one. This is more of a mindset one, but I think it's really, really important, especially to new sellers. Etsy, selling online, Etsy or anywhere, is feast or famine. Most sellers, when they start out, they are in the famine phase. You are starving. You're not getting traffic. You're not getting sales. And most of those sellers, 70%, according to a recent study I saw, will close their shops within the first year, and they are in the famine stage. They're doing all this work. They're putting up listings. They're adding new products. They're trying to grow their business, and they're getting no sales. They're months and years they're doing this, and they're getting no sales or very little sales. So they get tired of it. It's not working. Etsy doesn't work, and they close their shop. What they don't realize is that they have to continue going. They have to continue push past the starving phase, the famine phase, before they get to the feast phase. They have to learn from that famine phase. They have to learn to be consistent. They have to learn to analyze their stats, learn to see what Etsy is throwing at them and pivot and make changes and be consistent with implementing changes and updating their shop and adding new stuff, so that they can start to get traffic, start to get sales, and get to that feast phase. However, unfortunately, most people do not want that. They want the instant gratification. They want to open their shop today and get sales tomorrow and be happy sipping on a Mai Tai at the beach, and the sales just start rolling in. A lot of that is the misconception that we see from social media, unfortunately, but that is not the norm. Most shops struggle for months and years before they ever get to the point of having consistent sales. It really took me about 3 years before I started to see consistent sales. And all that time before, I was working at a corporate job full time. I was working on my Etsy business in the morning, at night, during breaks, during lunches, with sometimes no reward, sometimes no sales for weeks, for months. I was doing this work consistently with no reward at all, no sales, seemingly no movement forward. But all that stuff starts to compound over time. Over time, your shop will start to grow. The algorithm will see that you're consistent. You'll learn what works, what doesn't work. You'll get better at it. It's like riding a bike. The more you do it, the better you're going to get at it. Even though you don't see that stuff roll in right away, you will start to see it over time. So you got to push past the famine stage so you can get to the feast stage. The most successful shops pushed past. They kept going. Meanwhile, 70% of the other shops quit. All those other shops quit, and they pushed past. They kept going, so now they're reaping the rewards. They're reaping those sales. They're reaping that traffic. So that's what I would encourage you to do, whether you're a new shop or you've been at this for a couple of months or even years. Analyze what you're doing. Analyze your workflow. Are you being consistent? Are you learning from your success? Are you learning from your failures? Are you using the information that Etsy's giving you to your advantage to move your business forward? So I would encourage you to keep going. As always, you can't fail if you never quit, right? You got to continue moving forward, continue to learn and taking action in your business, and you will find your chunk of success. I promise you that. So that's your little pep talk at the end of this episode. Hopefully this helps you out. Make sure you're looking at your business and doing these things like the successful shops are doing. It's always a good playbook, a good framework to follow. And also make sure you guys get that 100 sales guide at handmadeandbeyond.com/100 sales, your guide to help you guys get to your first 100 sales and beyond. But that is it for today's episode I'll be back soon with another episode for you guys. Have an amazing rest of your day. Happy selling.